This is Michael Gerace with Michelangelo's Plumbing Inc. performing a video sewer inspection through a 4-inch ABS mainline cleanout in the grass. We are just to the left of the front door area, and we're going to begin running through. We've already done a preliminary on this, and we did find out that there is a backwater valve in the line. And this is March 16, 2018. We're going to begin running through, and we've got an authorization to go through the backwater valve. Hopefully we can get through fine and then get our camera back okay without damaging the backwater valve. And if we do, then we're going to have to come back next week and repair it. Got a little offset in the cast iron. We can jump over that area. We have an older cast iron line. And then we have our backwater valve right here, where what we're going to do is we're going to go up to our backwater valve, and now we're going to mark this area real quick. We are right at our backwater valve right now, and now we're going to push through, which we have. We just pushed through, and now we're going back into cast iron. So we have a very old cast iron line. You can see that it's old because we don't have any rubber neoprene coupling showing through, but it appears to be in fair condition so far. It is probably getting toward the end of its life expectancy, but right now, as I said, we're still in fairly decent condition. And now we're going to transition. We're going to mark this area. Somebody has replaced a section of this sewer line with ABS plastic, so we're going to locate this area real quick. Okay, so we do have a liner installed, and we transitioned from ABS plastic to looks like a sickener. This is at the property line. This is a city sewer lateral. We do have a little bit of root intrusion at the joint where it was connected, and that'll have to be maintained. Got a minor ripple off to the left, which won't hurt anything. That's just covering a joint. Liner doesn't look all that old. It appears that the liner may have been put in fairly recently. A few ripples in the liner, but the liner looks to be in pretty good condition. It looks like it was installed pretty well. Making a turn, you're going to get some ripples in there. That's just common. Can't do anything about it. Appears to be in pretty good condition. Now we have roots growing in at the end of the liner. You can't lap that joint. We had a lot of roots at that joint, and it's actually cracking the liner right there. And you got some roots growing in at the end of the liner. There's quite a bit. There's roots on our left, which we can't see real well, but we've got a considerable amount of roots in there. When we hit this area here, you can kind of see there's roots off to the left as well. There's quite a large amount of roots. Right now, what's going to have to be done here, this is going to cause a major problem. This needs to be hydrojetted real good and put what they call a top hat. What they do is they go in from the city sewer side and they put a short piece that's about 3 feet long that has what almost like a top hat on it. And it curls over this edge. It curls over the end of that sewer line to keep the roots from growing back in. It's going to destroy the end of the liner, and that's going to cause you a lot of stoppages. A top hat liner is about $6,800 to $7,200, somewhere in there, plus the permit fee. So that's going to have to be done. That can be done. This can be dug up or just maintained. This is minor on this side. But you could also dig this up even if you had to do it later. You dig down and redo that joint. Just fix that joint, that's all. Nothing major. I don't think that the couplings were put in real well. We put in neoprene couplings when we join that stuff, and then we pack hydraulic cement all the way around it, so the roots can't get into it. This is minor on the property line, but in the street, that's pretty major. That's going to end up making that liner curl up. So once it starts to curl up, it's going to start pitching on the paper and everything else. Then you have issues. But that's the only two areas. This is the major area right here at the city sewer. And by rights, you can't line that far. You cannot put your liner all the way to the edge of the city sewer. You've got to be back to the next joint. They went further than what they should have because they knew they had an issue there. They should have put a top hat at the time they did it.
And that one you said is out in the street?
That's out in the street, right at the city sewer tie-in connection. That's where it ties into the city sewer. Let me just go back in again and I can show you. I probably didn't show you. That's the city sewer right there. You can see the water flowing through the street.
Yeah.
Camera up on that. It's splitting that. It's splitting the liner up toward the top. See it? Right where it says the 2018. Kind of hard to see a little bit. Let me rinse my camera lens off real quick. Yeah, right there you can see it a lot closer. Yeah. Liner in the truck. I can show you what it looks like if you want to see it. You want to grab that liner? Where is it? Inside, top right on the top, in the back. Okay.
Eventually sewer line, right?
This is a liner. This is not trench lips.
Oh, it's not trench.
This is like a cloth sock that is soaked in epoxy, and then we blow it into the line. We blow it into the line with air, and then we put a bladder inside that and expand it until it cures about 2 hours later. Then it becomes a solid piece of pipe. So it supports all the joints. It keeps the roots from growing into most of those joints. The ends of the liner are where you have the problems. If you have major root intrusion toward the end of the line, you're going to have issues there. That's why you have to put that top hat. The top hat comes into that part of the liner and covers it by about 2 feet. Roots aren't going to grow in. Okay.
Do you guys do all that kind of work?
Yeah.
I wanted to know. I've learned way too much.
Yeah.
I had one case. That's why when we talked about the device, I did a case. The same situation with Greenfield. We ran escrow, backed up, and
Coming back into our ABS plastic. Now we're coming back into our cast iron. The cast iron is an older cast iron line. Eventually it'll need to be replaced. But right now I don't see any root intrusion through it, so I don't believe it's deteriorated to a point where it's failed. It looks, there's no holes, no root intrusions, so it's still maintainable. Don't even need to hydrojet it, don't need to do anything at this point with it. Still looks to be in fairly good condition at this time. Got it. Perfect. There's our check valve, still intact, looks good, didn't do anything. Okay, so we're in perfect condition.
I'm in love.
Yeah.
That area needs to be
Except for the part where we need to work
excavated and get an access into that check valve. But that concludes our video sewer inspection.
One